to fill one of those top cabinet positions for the first time in history. It's being done the Hollywood way now.
How's that?
You have to show your resume, qualifications, references, and security clearance, and then you have to show your legs. I guess that's a real old joke,
isn't it? Help me, Joey.
Thanks, Mike.
Right.
Mike, I've got a friend here by the name of Lou Bedell, and you saw him at the front door because Lou is a record producer and record company president. Now he's an artist, and he has his own record, which he's releasing. It's a takeoff on the administration and the Ronald Reagan thing. I don't want to tell him what it's about because then I'll spoil the surprise. But it's about jelly beans, and it's cute. So I listened to the thing today, and it's all talk, so we're going to play it. It's an all-talk record with music under it. Lou is really good. He's got a very clever mind, what's left of it, and he brought us Hudson and Landry. It's like I feel like Arthur Godfrey. Who'd you bring to us today? Who do we have on Talent Scouts, Lou? You brung yourself. A man we fried last night, right? So Lou's new record we will be playing today, and we got a guy by the name of Sulu. Speaking of Lou's, that's what a lot of people would do with you too, Mr. Bedell. Sulu. Yes, I hear that all the time on Selma.
I'm defenseless. I have nothing to talk into.
Your microphone, I didn't give you a mic today because I didn't want to hear any of your one-liners while I was doing my monologue.
Oh, very good.
No, we have the mic all set up for Sulu, who's going to play guitar and sing. And she's going to perform live today. Oh. And we've got a very interesting guy who practices and preaches what he practices. He practices yoga. You know what that is, don't you? Go ahead, Lou. You can talk on mic. There's a mic there for you.
I know what yoga is. You're making me a dummy. That's the stuff
no, I'm not.
You eat with a spoon.
Yoga is well, what is Bikram? What is yoga?
Yoga means one word, Lou. Union, sign of plus, connection, relation, united. The simple definition of yoga is relation between body, mind, and spirit.
I'll vote for the answer Lou gave.
Yeah, well,
this is like Hollywood Squares, right?
I always thought it was getting into a funny position.
Now, Bikram Chowdhury is a yoga expert, and he's one of the finest in the world, as a matter of fact, and he has his headquarters here in Los Angeles in Beverly Hills. He's in chic Bev Hills is where he's located. And he also, in addition to the thing that you would see on the front page of the Star or the Inquirer, he has a lot to do with the movie stars and personalities today. But mostly, and what interests me, is that he has set up in many cities, and in a couple of countries, right?
Several around the world.
Yeah, and I think
several countries.
That's impressive. So you are a yoga master, right?
Whatever you said.
Okay, whatever I say. We had an interview with Barry Bergman from United Artists Publishing, and since we are in the music capital of the world, Hollywood, very rarely do we have music people on the show. Just every week. No, I feel we're in the music capital, and we should, since many of us work in the industry, and many of us at least are fans of it, or we have members of our family who are in it, we should have we have a lot of movie people on, so we should have record people too. And Barry we interviewed to find out what the publishing business is all about, and we have part 2 of that interview, which we're going to get to in a moment. First, I wanted to play some of the things which we put together a little demo here. Barry had some songs which he presented to us, and they have never been played on the air before. Now, rather than play them all the way through, because we don't have that kind of time, nor that kind of a show, I figured we would play a little potpourri of the tunes which he made available to us today. The first artist's name is Rob Friedman, and Barry believes he's going to be a big star. You'll hear more about this on the interview, which follows these tunes, so if you're a little bit lost, just bear with us. It's 8 minutes on Wall Street.
So I immediately tried to learn how to read a Wall Street Journal so I could understand what I was doing. And after hanging out for a year in different brokerage firms, I started knocking on doors to get a job as a broker. And I got into a training program back in 1968 with a company, Steiner Rouse and Company, which is no longer around.
And they had a training program?
Well, they're no longer around now. They were around then. They had a training program. I remember I was making my $65 a week. And after 6 months, I received my broker's license, and then I was practicing. And it didn't take long. I built up a couple hundred accounts, and I did very well down on Wall Street. Only I couldn't stand all the blood that I would see as the years went on, as 1970 rolled around and 71.
Well, this is the most violent business in the world, the music business. If a record is really big, they call it a killer, or dynamite, or gorilla. And a record, if it's very important, it's got a bullet. And you're worried about violence?
Now Billboard has 2 different types of bullets, superstar bullets and regular bullets.
It's an amazing business. You decided to get away from the cutthroats and come into the villains.
Yeah, I went from the frying pan right to the fire.
And you came back to New York music.
New York music. I went into Mark's music and attempted to bring them into the 1980s.
70s.
In the 80s. I figured we'd do that in 75. We'd try to bring them into 1980. And we decided at the time that the way to do it was to build artist writers. Not go after just individual songs and try to get recordings, because the time that you have to put in today into getting an individual song recorded, the same time goes into building an artist's career or building a group's career. And you can create 10 copyrights if you have a hit album with an act and you break your act, versus getting one cut on an album and realizing later that it may or may not be the single, and that there's no futures and no follow-ups as a result of it.
What's breaking an act? What does that mean?
Bringing an act to a level of success, such as a record going gold, where we sell 500,000 albums, or platinum, which would be 1 million albums.
Well, I realize it's a serious business, but do you have any fun?
Oh, I love every minute of it.
But you don't drink necessarily.
No, I don't.
So you don't like going to the bars, but you do. You do go.
Absolutely. I have my ginger ales and 7-Ups.
And you remain sober, watching what's going on at all times.
Absolutely.
Like a vulture, right? And you swoop down and you grab a group or an artist and you bring him to your fold, United Artists Music, and you groom him.
Absolutely.
You give him the Barry Bergman philosophy.
Absolutely.
Which is a culmination of all these years of working on and in and near the music business in Wall Street.
Absolutely.
That's what you do, isn't it?
Exactly right.
So you will teach someone, I've seen you nurture people before, so I know you will teach someone all that you've learned by your pitfalls.
Absolutely. You know, I've always done it that way.
You're like the mother hen.
You might say so.
And you're doing more of what I consider to be management than anything else.
Well, I've always had a management approach to music publishing. I feel that an artist definitely should know what's going on with his career. And I try to nurture these acts and bring them to the point where not only are they writing great songs, but they also are very aware of all the steps and in the development of their career, because basically it is their lives. And I don't believe in holding anything back from them as far as, you know, what's happening with their lives or their careers, and I want them to be very aware of what's going on. Because I think the most important thing in the business today, and it's probably a pitfall in most places, is the fact that I think the chemistry between people has to be good for something to really work.
Does a recording artist have to worry about politics?
No, not unless...
That's a corporate game. It's not something
No, that has nothing to do with the recording artist. That's my problem.
Yeah, so you take care of all of that, don't you?
Yeah, I take care of all of that.
Who do you consider your biggest artist or your biggest triumph in your life so far?
I would say the biggest triumphs in my life are Meatloaf and AC/DC.
Who's AC/DC?
AC/DC was a very hard rock and roll band from Australia that I was involved with at my last firm, Mark's Music. They have since sold 10 million albums worldwide. When everybody told me 4 years ago I was crazy and I was nuts and it would never happen.
So let's get this straight now. A recording artist and or a group will have a manager, an agent, a publishing company, a record company. How many other things? Is that it?
Yeah, those are the main things. They could have a public relations operation. They could have...
Well, let's figure this out. Now, a manager you give what, about 20% to?
20%.
20%.
That's more or less the standard today.
You give the agent what, 15% or 10?
No, a booking agency gets 10%. They're the ones that are responsible for setting up all the concert dates.
So far, we have 30% gone.
Right.
What does the music publisher get?
No, the music publisher, that's royalties. I mean,
so that's a separate area.
That's a separate area altogether. We don't take from the artist. We end up paying the artist. We're the ones that are footing all the bills right now for these acts. They're not being charged for it directly. I mean, they'll pay for it out of royalties. We are definitely gambling. We're betting on what we believe is going to be the big things of the future.
Well, Barry, what if you don't score? What if you come
If we don't score, then we've taken a loss.
And what happens to you then?
That's my problem. But there's no doubt in my mind we're going to score, because the one thing I'm thoroughly convinced of is that my ears haven't failed me yet, and I trust they're not.
Your ears. I've heard that said often. You have a good ear, they would say to me when I was a disc jockey. What does that mean, you have a good ear?
Well,
Does it mean it's pretty, or my lobe hangs
No,
just right?
No, I basically feel that my judgments about what's commercial and what will sell in the market in the next year or two is right on. I think that it's accurate and good.
Yeah, you made a face at me because
And it may not be, Joey, let me just interrupt 1 second and say it may not be music that I personally think is great. Because I don't get involved with artists because I personally think their music is great. I get involved with artists because I feel they're going to be successful.
Was John Lennon the greatest writer of our generation?
I would say he influenced our generation more so probably than anyone else. I think there are several. I think he was among one of the best. But I think there were several.
In his later years, was he still one of the best? We haven't heard much from him.
No, he was inactive the last few years, but he definitely shaped, my musical tastes and my likes, and he was one person that was able to move a generation single-handedly. He was probably the one of the large thrusts through the of the Beatles.
But after he and Paul separated, that was no longer that magic, was there?
No, the magic disappeared when the group broke up. But
Do you find anybody who writes that well these days, comes into your office, or anybody you've seen on the road?
Well, when you find an artist that is first, coming up in the ranks, a writer, not a writer artist who's first coming up in the ranks that hasn't had any measure of success yet, it's hard to tell what they're going to develop into a year or two or three down the road. I mean, I basically go with my instincts and my feel and my judgments about what they're currently doing.
Are you looking for another John Lennon?
I'm looking for a star of the future, whether it be a Bob Dylan, a Beatles, or an Elvis Presley.
Well, how will you know him?
I don't think you really know if you're going to have the next Beatles or the next John Lennon. I think it's something that you realize after the fact, as it's happening. I think basically, you have to go with your instincts initially, and go with what you feel is great product, a great artist, a great writer, and I think it's the future tells the story.
So you have a couple of things right now which you think are
that I think have very major potential.
Do you think they're incredible?
Yes, I think they are.
Yeah?
I think that we're going to sell millions and millions of records with Rob Friedman.
Is it more of what we've already gotten from the music business?
No, I think Rob is very, very unique. I think Rob is a very unique artist.
Well, then you look for originality, don't you?
I definitely do.
And neatness?
Absolutely.
You think you have that with Rob?
Absolutely.
How do you test tunes ordinarily? What gives you that extra clout when you go to a record company and say, I know this is a hit. I know this guy
Well,
is
it's all
great.
subjective, really. It's all a matter of opinion.
Well, everything else in this country is surveyed. There's a place here called Preview House on Sunset in Hollywood, where people put on these earphones, they sit down in the theater, and they listen to a record, and they can tell you whether it's going to be a hit or not.
I'll tell you what I do like to do.
What?
I mean, and I've done it over the years. I know I did it with Meatloaf and with AC/DC and a couple of other things that I've been involved with. I like to take the music that I really believe in to a schoolyard nearby where I live. And, just, informally meet with a bunch of kids out there and, ask them for their feelings.
What'd you have, a little cassette player?
Yeah, I bring a cassette player with me, a portable one. Well, something that's very interesting, Joey, is also is that all through the years while I was growing up, and even up until a couple of years ago, I used to go out and I was a very big record buyer.
Are you now?
I still buy certain records, although I get a lot of records from the industry, free of charge.
Yeah.
But, I get a lot of sample copies of various things that are coming onto the market. But I definitely feel, I see the big thing with me with music is that the music, I feel, has to move people emotionally. They have to get a feeling from it. Something has to come out of it that they can relate to, that they can identify with. And I think when you can identify with what you're hearing, you would have you would want to go out and buy it.
Well, I used to, as a disc jockey, hear a lot better when someone would give me a $100 bill with a record. I identified with it. It improved my hearing.
Well, the blank tape business is bigger than ever.
And it's hurt the record business.
Yeah, that has definitely hurt the record business. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
How do you feel about the video disc?
I think the video disc will work on how-tos, on educational things, but how many times would somebody want to go out and see their favorite artist in concert? And there's nothing like being there. Therefore, who would want to buy a video disc and sit and constantly watch the same artist on tape?
You won't get beat up leaving the auditorium. You won't get mugged, raped.
No, but I think, Joey, in all seriousness, I think most artists are very boring in concert. A lot of them are very boring. You wouldn't even want to see them live once.
Well, some of the records you threw away when you were a kid. Did you ever throw your records away?
Yep.
They're worth a fortune now.
I'm sure they are. There are certain, and I understand 45 RPM singles today that are worth $2,000, $3,000.
You're not a collector, though, huh?
No, I'm not.
Why not?
It was just something that never, hit my fancy.
Yeah, there is a big market for it.
Yes, I didn't realize that years ago, like I understand it to be today.
Well, that's the reason there is a big market. It's because none of us realized it years ago, and there's very little of that product around.
Right. Also, records they weren't pressed in the quantities then that they are now. In fact, if you want to get on the topic of collectibles, the bombs that hit artists had years ago are the records today that are worth the money, not the hits.
In Top 40 radio, everybody liked the same 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 tunes.
Right.
At the same time. You had to like them. Whether you liked them or not, you liked them.
You were fed them, and either you accepted them or you didn't.
That's not the case right now, is it?
No, not necessarily, because you've got more alternatives today. You got the FM dial and you got the AM dial.
And you've got tape.
You got the tapes.
And you got video disc.
You got everything.
And you got video cassettes. And pretty soon there will be ESP, transmission of signals through the air. You won't have to buy anything. All you got to do is concentrate for a while, and someone will steal your thought directly. You know, there was a fire here last week in Los Angeles, which is not uncommon. It was an apartment building, though. Yeah. And a guy ran out of the building with a sheeter on him, and 40 people worshipped him. It's only the town you're in, Barry. Where do we go with the music business now? Are we looking for a new idol? Are we looking for a trend?
I think they're definitely looking for some new heroes to worship. Because there haven't been any since the Beatles and since Elvis Presley.
You mean a sandwich with ham and cheese and...
No, not that kind of hero.
I see.
And hopefully I'm going to have one.
Why are you staring at me?
Well, maybe you're the next hero.
Wrong. The lovely and talented Lou Bedell, who is by the name of Sulu. Sulu Lubin, who has nothing to do with Sir Lou Bedell. But Sulu is a gal who is singing on a lot of radio stations. You hear her. I've heard her through the years anyway, on KMET and KABC. She has a lot of those off-the-wall songs. She makes her records in a racquetball court. And she's going to do something live for us today. We're going to play just like Uncle Joey's Talent Scouts.
And she gets her songs off the wall.
I certainly hope so, for your sake.
They stick, too.
All right, we'll be back in 2 minutes. Count them.
Exciting.
Going on, it's a circus. We have an exchange of guests in the studio itself. The reason for that is because we like an informal gathering around here. And as a rule, we usually have everybody sitting around this big, long table. We're in a large room at KMPC. I don't think anybody's ever described the room, right? This is the first time it's being described on the air. After all of these years, there's a voice inside trying to get out of me. I hear it.
Let me out.
Quiet. I'm trying to introduce the next guest. I hear all these voices. It's confusing. It's 24 till 1. This is Weekend LA. I'm Joey Reynolds, and our guest right now is Russell Elliott, who is an actor.
Hi, Joey.
That's primarily what you are, right, Russ?
Yes.
Also, you have been in Las Vegas with Cher.
Yes, very exciting, too.
I said you were co-star. I wanted to throw that real fast.
Yes.
Because I didn't think she'd be up this early listening.
No.
Because if she heard that, she'd be troubled. What do you do exactly, Russ?
Well, I'm Cher in the Cher Show.
What?
Yes. I play Cher in the Cher Show. It's a fake opening, you know.
We just blew the opening for everybody.
Well, not anymore. Last week was the last week of this show. Because she has to redo it. You know, it's been like 2 years. She's been doing the same show. And we filmed it in Monte Carlo. They took us to Europe, and they filmed it, and it's now on home box office. So she's going to have to redo it all over again.
This is the show that home box office bought, so therefore Caesar's rejected. Is it Caesar's Palace? Is that where it was?
Yes.
And they said, no, they don't want any more of the show because it's going to be on TV.
Right.
So now they're
well, she goes back there in May. Yeah. With a totally new show. So it's got to be even better now, you know, than the last one. Mm-hmm. But what I do is I open the show as Cher. You know, the Take Me Home song, her last big hit with the horns and all. Well, her mother's voice comes on and says, ladies and gentlemen, Caesar's Palace probably presents my daughter Cher. And they open these, the dancers open these Mylar things, and I'm standing up there. Yeah. You know, and I walk out and start pantomiming to Take Me Home. And then she comes out of the audience as Laverne, you know, that waitress with the big hips and the red hair and stuff, and she just, stop, you know, something's wrong here, you know, something's not right. So she gets up on stage, you know, and she looks at me and she says, you know, I don't know who you are, but I know who you're not. She says, so get your buns off the stage. So I leave, and then I get into another Laverne outfit like she's in. And I sneak on stage while she's singing as Laverne, and we do a switch so she can step out in the Bob Mackie White Fox Cher.
Oh, that's great.
So
I've never seen the act. I think that's great.
It's so much fun. And Joe Layton is a clever man, you know, to be able to...
And it grabs everybody because it does surprise everybody.
Right, and she also has a Diana Ross look-alike and a Bette Midler look-alike.
Oh, boy.
That is, it's phenomenal. The two of those, we did Washington, D.C., and the people that got standing ovations, and they stood in lines waiting to get their autographs because they thought that they were the real Diana Ross and the real Cher. It's been very interesting.
Oh, what a drag.
Hey, come on, what did you call me?
Where does it go from here? What happens now?
Well, you see, I've never done that before. You see.
Oh, sure. They all say that.
Well, no. Yes, right. They all say that. I've never worn a dress before. Besides, my mother's shoe is too small. No, I was an actor before. I was born and raised in Mississippi, believe it or not, Biloxi, Air Force brat. And my mother was the protege of Edgar Bergen when she was 13 years old. And so that's where I got the show business routine.
Speaking of ventriloquists, huh?
Yes. And
he was the master.
That was it. He was the master. He had a doll made for her that that fit her voice, because she was an orphan, and he
She was probably the first woman to ever do that.
She was.
Uh-huh.
And so
did she throw a man's voice or a woman's voice?
A little black Southern boy. He took her to a studio, had her sit in one room and just do her monologue with her little doll that she paid 25 cents for.
Yeah.
And they had 4 artists in another room, and they sketched what the voice sounded like. And so she was born and raised in Arkansas, and her voice came out like a black Southern boy. And so the doll is really small because she was only 13 years old when him and his mother gave it to her on Christmas Day in 1938, I think it was. And so I was like the only one out of 5 kids who inherited the talent to do that. So I started doing it in school plays and at the skating rink, for contests, things like that. So I moved to New Orleans and I took up acting lessons and started acting. And I came out here and got into acting very little. We have to make a living, so I got into wardrobe. And I worked for Norman Lear over on Jefferson's for about 4 years. And that's where I met Joe Layton. So my job was to find the impersonators for the Cher show and the dancers. So I found that these 2 guys, the one that does Diana Ross and the one that does Bette Midler, and he also wanted a Dolly Parton. But hey,
Thanks for the memory.
Right. So I could not find a Dolly Parton, So I couldn't find a Dolly Parton or a Cher, and Joe looked at me and he says, well, we'll scratch Dolly Parton, Russell, and you'll do Cher. And I said, you're out of your mind, Joe. I don't even look like the lady. We have the same bone structure, So I was so excited about it, I was going to go out and have my nose broke, to make it look bigger.
Your nose is small.
I know. I don't even think they could break it.
I saw her a couple of years ago in Miami at a convention for a record industry convention, and she does look a little like you, except she wasn't unshaven.
You should see me
in
with
the
a
face.
mustache. It's great. You do, Sharon. You have a mustache. Come on. But to me, I put it in a category. It's like as an acting part. A guy did an interview on me. I just got it. My PR man sent it to me, and I wasn't very happy with it because it said transvestites, transsexuals, and drag queens.
God, I hope this isn't on tape because you'll hate yourself saying it.
Well, no. I'm trying to say it's like I'm not a drag queen. I'm not a transvestite. I'm not a transsexual. I consider myself an actor. Look at John Davidson when he did Streets of San Francisco. He had to play a woman. So Joe Layton gave me a chance, said, Russell, here's a part. Let's play it, So that's what I don't think I'll ever do it again, try to impersonate another woman because I'm not an impersonator. But I wanted, to get into more acting, which is more of a challenge because I like to do a little bit of everything.
You wouldn't do this on the Gong Show?
No.
I mean, of course, there is no Gong Show. That got gonged, but you wouldn't do it.
The whole show, even the movie got gonged.
How long were you in Vegas?
Well, out of a year and a half, we did 31 weeks.
How'd you like it there?
It gets boring because it was fun at first because we gambled all our paychecks away, but we learned, we learned our lesson. But the traveling is what I enjoyed the most because we went to London and Paris and Europe and places I never, I'm from Mississippi, come on, and now I'm Cher, playing Cher, And we've been to Washington, we played the Kennedy Center, stay at the Watergate Hotel. I hope this is not taped. But, it's been very exciting. Really exciting. And Cher is a very wonderful person to work with.
Well, you were at Caesar's Palace. There was no fire there.
No. They put us on the lower floor so we can get out fast, just in case. Which was a very, it's a disaster. It's terrible.
Well, you remember the MGM Grand Fire. You lived through that.
We had just left. Had just left. Very sad. I feel very sad about it, but...
I worked for Wayne Newton for a couple of years, so I spent a lot of time in Vegas.
Aladdin now. He's in...
Yeah, this is before he owned the hotel. There was a fire also at the Hilton this past week, but there was a third fire, which was not reported.
Aha, at the Flamingo.
Yes. When was that?
I don't know the exact day, but it was during that week that we were there.
But it was a small fire.
Right. They got it out fast.
Yeah. But there was another fire in Vegas.
So it was a total of 3 of them there. But it was arson, with that kid. They found the kid who did it.
I noticed that our tragedies, there's an old cliche that history repeats itself from the Roman Empire. And I notice now that history is repeating itself in its same location rapidly. For instance, the Mount St. Helens thing has happened twice now.
Yes.
And in Vegas, twice by the book anyway.
Right.
And what else just recently happened the other day? It was in the same place. Just escapes my mind for the moment. But there's a lot of these things that are lightning. History is repeating.
The earthquake in Italy.
Yes, that's it, exactly. It was the earthquake last night. A story on it last night. So these things are happening. History is repeating itself very quickly now.
Just like the Bible says, though.
Yes.
It's all coming to pass.
Well, we're going to play some commercials now that we get on that subject.
Let's get off the
I have to
track
do
with
this
it.
commercial now. What is this, an angel commercial next to the Bible? No, it would never be. 1:45. It's time for Save-On's Great Radio Bargain. This is KMPC. It's a great radio station, and here's the bargain. It's good through today, Sunday, at all Save-On drugstores. You can save $3. It's
boring.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been like that. It's one of those days, right, where the tongue isn't moving properly. I've got to go see Bikram. Maybe I can move my mouth a little better. He said a very lovely thing before he left. He said, you're doing a very nice public service by having the people hear that there is a place to go for help. And sometimes we forget that, who the exploiter is. I think sometimes in doing this show that I'm coming in and I'm going to take advantage of a guest by having his presence, somebody who's famous or good or can drop a lot of names or who can lend to my fame, see. But on the other hand, it also helps him. And sometimes you can be reciprocal. Other times you're helping the guest more than you are yourself. He's the kind of a guy you don't mind helping at all because he's doing good work for everybody. He really believes what he's doing. The yoga fella, yeah. And he really means what he's doing. He means to do good. He believes that he is not a prophet, but he does do it for profit. He makes money. Not a lot, though. I mean, it's not someone who's gouging everybody.
That's very unusual, too.
Speaking of the gouge of the week, I'm gonna start a feature. I would like to start one anyway. I would like to be like, unlike, who's the guy who does all of those consumer things? Horowitz, right?
David Horowitz.
Yeah. You know how he got that job?
How?
He was first on television on NBC Channel 4 during the big earthquake we had here in 64, wasn't it? I forget what year it was.
No, it was 1972.
72.
I was here 3 times, and there were 2 different earthquakes. Yeah, the Stillmarket.
10 years ago. They just celebrated the 10th anniversary.
I stand to be corrected. We should send this.
71, that's what I thought.
Okay. Well, anyway, in 72, he was on the air on the all-night show on NBC on news duty, and he happened to pick up the reins. There was no one else around, and no other station was on the air. All the other TV stations were knocked off the air except for Channel 4. So he remained, and that made him popular. At least his name got around because he was just doing a local service.
It's amazing the way things happen like that.
Oh boy, talk about that pickled finger, huh? So David Horowitz has become the consumer name in this town right now, and nationally he's behind Ralph Nader, I'd say. It's my own guess. I like to get something going about consumerism because I'm a consumer. I'm a big American pig. I go to supermarkets and impulse buy and do all the things you're not supposed to do, all the negatives. I shop when I'm hungry, etc. But I notice now that, and I want to mention this on the air, and I'm not going to mention the name of the company because then I'll really get in trouble. They're probably one of our sponsors. But this is the thing I tried to do when I was a kid, drink Canada Dry. And I was never able to succeed with it. But I noticed the club soda that is made by a certain company is now 75 cents for club soda. And what maddens me is I think that greed has struck them so badly because they sit and they say, they've got to say to themselves, Perrier is getting 90 cents or 85 cents or 70 cents. And that's the number one mineral water, I believe. Poland water is just behind it, which incidentally was founded by the fellow who worked for Perrier and moved here to Maine, to the state of Maine, and found this spring, and they add the carbonation to it. It's added later, much like club soda. But club soda is now 75 cents in the supermarket, and that really threw me. The name brand type.
Also the crystal.
And that's nothing. All that is
75
carbonation.
cents.
It's nothing. And somebody ought to say something to the supermarkets like, we're not buying it until the price goes down. But you can't get people to do that anymore because, well, by the time I organized you, I'd be fired. That's why you can't get people to do it. But I did want to mention it. That's the hog of the week. It's 10 till 1. Those are the odds that I'll get through till 2. And Sonny Melendrez, Lou loves that line. And Lou's got a record he did for President, I was going to say President-elect. I'm so used to calling him that. President Reagan. It's about jelly beans. Lou has a record company, Dory Records. Has the biggest selection of comedy artists in the country. and we're going to play his new record. Lou, you're the artist on this thing, aren't you?
No. This is a new Zany. This is by the Zanies. This is a new Zany, Jeff McGinnis.
All right, well, let me go back another story then. We had played a record on this station by Lou and another fellow who was a wonderful writer. His name?
Friedman.
No. Guy who wrote the other Zany. Dick.
Oh, Dick Wesson.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So Dick Wesson and
right.
Lou had what did you have?
It was Carter. It was Carter Gets a Phone Call.
Okay. And it didn't last very long because the phone call wasn't very long. Neither was the record. It was a terrible record, wasn't it?
No, it was a great record. Great record. Gee.
Shouldn't ask that way.
The minute that Reagan took over the reins, though, the record became obsolete. It got up to number 2 on the Dr. Demento show.
Oh, my God. Do we have here a Jelly Bean record? Do you see this jelly bean-shaped tape in there? Can we play this? All right, here's Lou Bedell's new tune, folks.
Jelly beans. From peanuts to jelly beans. Let me tell you what this means. The peanuts are gone.
That's right.
What's the title of that tune?
That's called From Peanuts to Jelly Beans.
I like it. On a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
I like it. All right, it's...
you know what I wanted to ask your guest? May I ask your guest something?
Sure.
Okay. What
Our guest is Russell Elliott, incidentally.
Yes.
Who is Cher.
Right.
But he's really himself.
I'd really like that.
And he's an actor, and he doesn't want to be known as Cher. I just
Cher clone.
threw a zinger at him there.
Yeah, what... You should be able to tell.
100 stations. A couple minutes till 1 now. I'm Joey. Just say...
I thought the kite was...
What were you going to say? You were going to say the telephone was invented by Don Amici, right?
No, you said Taco Bell. I believe everything you say.
Well, listen, this show is called Stream of Unconsciousness. It's non sequiturs. Nothing means anything on this program anymore.
What is non sequitur? Something that doesn't have sequence.
Things that do not go together.
I see.
And that's what we're doing here all afternoon, well, until 2 o'clock anyway. Our guest has been. He's not a has-been. He's just starting. It's Russell Elliott, and he's an actor. And I don't know how fine an actor you are because I've never seen you do anything.
He looks pretty good.
Yeah, he looks good, though, right? So I guess that's the first thing. You could do Love Boat and Fantasy Island.
Oh, yes. Hey. I finished a movie right before I did the Cher Show, which was with June Lockhart, Dinky Hocker, Shoot Smack. I had a pretty good part in that. Yes, it was very interesting. And so I want to pursue that, more now.
Are we going to hear from you again?
Oh, of course.
You're going to come do our show some morning when you're awake?
You've got it.
What time do you get up in the daytime now?
Well, now it's going to be different. I have to get up and jog every morning, like 9 o'clock.
Yeah. But you've been getting up, 2, 3 in the afternoon, huh?
Oh, yes, because we've been doing very late shows, getting off at 2, and we're so wound up that we have to go sit at the bar and get drunk. So
you could never move back home to Mississippi?
No, I couldn't. I could never. My mother still lives there, and she's a truck driver.
You could never keep her hours?
Oh, no.
Truck drivers have good hours.
That's right, yes.
They're up all night. Well, thank you very much, Russ.
Joey, thank you for having me.
Okay, we're going to go now. It's 1 o'clock at KMPC, and we'll be back maybe. Great to have no news. I love it. No news is good news. No, it's terrific. I mean, to have light news for a change. There's no tragedies going on, And
my guitar string just popped.
Your guitar string what?
I'm just kidding.
What happened? Your guitar string
I'm just kidding.
That's not a big story, Sue. Don't worry about it. Mike Rollins is doing a great job today. I don't know what he's saying because I'm not paying any attention to him. All I know is the tone is good. There is no tragedies going on. And that's terrific, isn't it? For a
That's
change?
great. I don't believe it.
It's my motto. The motto in the newsroom. When everybody minds their own business, news is scarce.
That's right.
That's right. Sulu is our guest. Sue Lubin.
Hi.
That's her name. And she is from Woodland Hills, right?
Used
Not
to
exactly.
be. About 20 years ago.
Where
no,
are you from?
actually, I'm from Westwood, UCLA. I live in Westwood.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, I moved.
You moved away from your father?
I sure as heck did.
He let you out of the house?
He sure does. He better let me out.
You're going to do something live for us today, huh?
That's right. I have a song called Locked in the Closet with You, and this has been on the top 10 quite a number of times on a certain radio station.
Oh, you can mention
on
another
KMPC.
station.
This is on Dr. Demento, so if anybody ever listens to him, I'm sure you've heard a lot of songs on Dr. Demento. This is called Locked in the Closet with You. And before I do it, you have to sit back and imagine you're in the closet with somebody you really would like to get your hands on. Just sit back and fantasize. And just like Bikram would say, you got to get yourself in the state of mind to hear this song. So this is Locked in the Closet with You. Late at night, before I go to bed, I see your face in front of me. It would be ecstasy if I could feel your hair and touch you everywhere. If I were locked in the closet with you, can Can you imagine it, Joey? Just you and I alone. And you could make me groan. Just hit my funny bone. I'd blow into your ear and other places, dear, if I am locked in the closet with you. And though we cannot see, that makes it fun to guess what I am touching now as you start to undress. Yes, that must be your nose sniffing my eye. I think your zipper's cut onto my thigh. Help, I can't find you, dear. I lost you near the skirts. Now all I feel are pants, sweaters, and undershirts. I feel the vacuum clean right beneath my toes. Whoops, I just flipped the switch. There went my pantyhose. Oh my, I hear a crash. What was that awful noise? You say you've just been hit by falling Tinker toys. But now I've found you, dear. I think you'll be okay. You say you're dizzy, but I won't let that stand in the way. Hey, locked in the closet with you is where I long to be. Don't think I'm crazy, cause there's nothing wrong with me. Cause there is just one place we can play whoop-de-doo. And I sure hope your wife isn't listening, Joey. And that is locked in the closet with you.
I was hoping nobody's listening. Oh, that's great. That's just great. You write all this stuff, huh?
Sure do. Started about 5 years ago in the dorms over at UCLA.
And you're professionally known as Sulu.
As Sulu, not Sue Lubin. Although the LA Unified School District does know me as Sue Lubin, I do not perform this type of material while I am in the classroom, as you understand why.
Put the guitar down and come on down over here and talk to us. And then we'll have you come back to the bandstand in just a moment. Just put that down, and you come over here to this mic, and we'll sit down and have a little conversation. I think it's very nice. That's really, really nice here.
That's my favorite.
That's a #1 song from Dr. Demento's list?
I don't remember if it ever hit #1, but it's been up there. It's been #2 for sure in the top 10.
Do you know I have one of my songs that I wrote 15 years ago is in his top 10?
Yeah, which one is that again?
Rats in My Room.
Right, you kept mentioning that before.
Maybe it was 20 years ago. I really hate
to.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, well, everybody can start somewhere. I mean, I don't know if you've heard the stuff he plays. You could start with a lousy song, and it could eventually get up there.
He's very unusual. He does a very unusual thing.
Very.
He plays records that I never would have played. Well, yeah, I shouldn't say that, because the records that I played years ago were much like that, except we didn't laugh at them. We took them seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Like The Last Kiss by J. Frank Wilson.
Right.
Or Teen Angel by Mark Dinning.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Rosie and the Originals and Oh Baby.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember any of these things?
Yeah.
Well, these were all big hits. They were sold millions of records, you know.
That's right.
And they're terrible.
Well, he still plays them.
He plays those things, too?
Yeah, I've heard Teen Angel.
And this is a high-class FM operation they got over there, right?
Sure is. Got a big audience.
Well, this is KMPC you're on now, and it's 710 on the dial, on the AM dial. I'm going to throw in a plug for our own station here for a moment.
All right.
Okay? And we're here with Weekend LA until 2 o'clock, then Sonny Melendrez. We have a feature that we're going to play for you, and then we'll be back to talk to Sulu some more. Our next feature is Fred Hessler. We did already, right? We heard from Fred? And we also... Gary Owens is not in today because he was out ill the other day, and...
That's bad news. You said you didn't have any bad news.
This is true. You're right. I shouldn't have said that. Let's see, the news. We go to the news. What's happening in the newsroom?
All right.
Iranians have stopped shaking their fists long enough to put them into their empty pockets. That's the end of the news. All right, here's our feature.
Today's cinema score will rate 4.
Not a gay parrot.
A parrot.
No, a gay parrot. There's what's a gay parrot?
Probably want a cracker?
I'm not going to touch that line, so don't leave me out of this.
Want a cracker?
You write those kinds of songs. I have to come back to work here again next week. It's 1:15 on KMPC on Weekend LA, and Sulu is a very entertaining gal. She puts on shows, too, with Dr. Demento, right?
Yeah.
And on your own.
Yes, on my own. I do a lot of different types of music, but the Demento show, as well as a lot of other people in dementia, are going to be performing at the Country Club in Reseda, Wolf and Rissmiller's Country Club, on March 21st. So you'll get a whole lot of dementia there if you attend.
And the important thing to note about Sue is that she's very attractive and young. How old are you?
24.
She's very pretty, and you would never, unassuming, too. You never would expect that such a mouth.
Lou said, yeah, I do have a big mouth. Lou said I looked as if I was 18 or 17.
No, I don't mean that you have a big mouth, because I don't think you do. I was just being facetious.
I'm really quiet at
you
school.
sing these things. They come out of you, and you never expect that these songs would come out of you.
And it's really funny. The other day I was having my hair done at Saks Fifth Avenue, and I was very quiet. You know, that's the way I am normally when hairdressers do my hair, unless they can make conversation. This particular one wasn't saying too much. And then at the end, I told her who I was, and she had a heart attack. Her son knows me from the show. And she says, "You're kidding. I would have never known you were Sulu. You are so quiet. Except now you suddenly start to talk." But that's the way I am. I'm shy sometimes, and other times I'm very outgoing. So it's hard to tell right away, especially if you just want to relax when you want your hair done. You want to start a million conversations.
Do you teach every day, every single day?
I teach every single day, except I have the weekend off.
You don't teach these guitar things, do you?
No.
And you don't teach these songs to kids, do you?
The only one I did teach was I Love Your Toes, which was winner in the Santa Monica Music Festival in '76. That's the only one. I try not to get beyond that point because...
I Love Your Toes.
Yeah. It was a winner, believe it or not.
What's this, a song about the New York Police Department?
Not exactly. No, it's about...
Because every time I park, they get my car towed, so you had to follow the train of thought.
Well, that's in it. How did you know? That's in the song, too, about the tow truck.
Yeah, I said the New York police have a tow fetish.
Right, exactly.
Would you sing something?
I certainly would. This is a great song. Hold on.
Oh, she's going over to the bandstand. It's a short walk. Don't worry, folks. It's a small studio.
All right.
It's an expensive set, though. Isn't it nice for us to have gone to this trouble for radio?
Sure.
I think people are watching.
Okay, I do have 2 toe songs, but this is...
I'd like to think people are listening, folks.
All right. This one is called I Love Your Toes. It's a very cute little ditty. It's not as...
Stop the hype. Just do the music.
Ouch. Okay.
Sulu, ladies and gentlemen. Sue her father, actually.
I love your toes, all 10 of them. Indeed I do, with all my might. I love the way they snuggle up beside my body at night. But when you wrap them around my ankles, I just squirm and I squeal. And then I ask myself if what is happening is for real. I feel your toes begin to scratch, and so I ask them to detach. But yet I find they didn't catch the statement that I made to them. They're still attached to me. And so I'm helpless now, you see. Your toes are all in love with me. And if I do convince the pinkies that it's rude to invade, I've solved a problem, yet I still got 8 more toes to persuade that I would like my liberty. Why can't your toes listen to me? Here's your part, Joey. Now, if I sent out for a tow truck, it would make you upset. But when your toes all take advantage of me, I really get quite agitated and frustrated and impatient. But yet, I love your toes, I love your toes, I love your 10 tiny toes. I love your toes, I love your toes, I love your toes.
That's great. Can you sit down again and walk off the bandstand?
I gotta walk around.
We're going to give you something from Rent-A-Yenta now as a gift for your appearing on the show today. You can pick out one of these things here in Rent-A-Yenta, and tell me what you choose, and I'll read it to them on the air. You go through the catalog there. It's a Rent-A-Yenta catalog, which is no longer in effect, but pick out something there. I think we have a caller coming in. I better take that on the air. Maybe it's a complaint. KMPC.
Sure is.
Why?
Because who's this?
Joey.
Oh, am I on the air?
Sure.
I hope I am.
You are.
I like you, but that little gal, I tell you, when I want to hear a cute little ditty, I'll go out and hear it, but I expect with something Melendez and all the others do. Good taste.
You don't like her songs, huh?
No, I don't. I think her daddy's right.
Oh, that's not nice. She sings very nicely. I think she's got some clever lyrics.
She sounds like a sweet little girl. She's quiet when she's at sax getting her hair done. But when I want to hear a ditty, I have my 2 granddaughters here.
Oh, okay. I have some serious...
okay.
I have some really serious stuff, too.
Somehow
I could put that on for you.
I just hope everybody else that thinks the same as me will call KMPC.
Well, wait,
I just sit back and wait for other people to do it.
I have this large gong. Where do you live? Ma'am?
Joey?
Yeah, where do you live?
I want to know about you. This is the first day I've ever heard you.
Oh, all right.
Where are you from and what? I think I liked you with the other gentleman. And I think she's cute, but the only thing I disagree with is her little ditties.
She writes these songs, and they're very unusual. And I must come to her defense.
When I want to hear these ditties, I'll go out at night and listen. I don't want to hear it at 1:30 in the afternoon.
All right. Well, we appreciate your comment.
Yeah, but you still didn't tell me where you're from.
Originally, I'm from Buffalo.
Oh.
You know where that is, the land of God's chosen people.
You on every Sunday?
Yeah, I have been. Last week we were preempted by a game.
Oh.
Maybe you listened then, and you heard the game.
No, I like Sonny and I like them all.
Uh-huh.
But to me, and I like you, and I like her too. But
maybe I'll play something Maybe I'll play something that's serious. I don't think you've heard that other side of me yet.
So.
I have two sides.
Well, then I think the other side of the cute little ditty should be other than 1:30 on a Sunday afternoon.
So you like your music at night, huh?
No, I'm not saying when I like it. I probably never go here.
Uh-huh.
But I think there's a lot of unaware kids that are listening, 10 and 12, that listen to KMPC by the way they've called in on at other times.
Oh, well.
And I'm concerned about them. I really am.
All right, well, you're entitled to your opinion. You know, what else can I say?
Right.
There's nothing else I can say,
No,
except I don't want to be a rude host.
No. Okay, Joey.
Okay, thank you for calling.
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye now. This is KMPC. You got on your radio. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. It's nice that we hear people say things. They dissent for a change. You know, I'd like to see that on the Carson show sometime. It would thrill me. Some nights I'll think things aren't so funny. You know, why is he going through the 6 minutes? It's not funny. Why doesn't someone stop him?
Yeah, people are entitled to that.
So I got stopped in my tracks today. He's next. KMPC.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, I'd like to speak with the person with Sulu, please.
That's me. Hello.
Hello?
Yes. Hello. Yeah, I'm Joey Reynolds. Yes, I'm here.
Oh, yes. Oh, I wanted to make a comment.
You have to listen to the telephone, not to the radio. Otherwise, you'll hear us on delay.
I'm listening.
In case your comment is not favorable, the throne can then disavow. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I am on the air right now. Okay. The woman that just called before, talking about the song and saying that she didn't think it was appropriate.
Yeah, she's entitled to her opinion.
Pardon?
She's entitled to her opinion.
Yes, of course, everyone is entitled to their opinion, but I have a suggestion. It's like saying, I watch Charlie's Angels, and I'm offended at the fact that such and such and women are being exploited and such. If you're offended by these things, don't watch them. I mean, the public has a variety of personalities, so if she doesn't like this type of a song, why doesn't she turn it off and listen to...
oh, no, we don't want her to do that. Then she won't be listening to the station, and it won't show good in the ratings.
But, well, then she could turn it off when she doesn't approve. I mean, every station has a variety of songs. Every station, not every station has just one type of song. Every song has a different content, and maybe you might not agree with one type of content.
Well,
I mean, this is a parody and a satire, and it's not taken for the real meaning. It's just a parody.
I've never gotten any negative reaction before anyway. This is the first I've ever got.
Today she's got hives.
No.
That's the negative reaction she got.
And if they...
she should just turn it off and listen to country western.
What's your opinion?
Can you play something in country western?
Well, Small Busted Women is a country
like
western
that.
too.
If she doesn't approve of something, then fine. Then she doesn't have to listen, and let her go send her kids, out in the other room to go drink some mail or something like that.
What's your opinion?
Milk, I mean. Sorry.
Pardon me?
What is your opinion?
What is my opinion? My opinion of what was done was cute because a satire is healthy.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
That's the opinion.
Okay, appreciate it.
It's on reality.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, boy, I didn't know we were getting in the middle of controversy. I was just trying to play a few tunes
All right.
here. KMPC.
Who's this?
Joey Reynolds, yes, you're on the air.
Hi, Joey. My name is Mike. I'm a regular listener.
Yeah, hi.
Oh, hold on.
Boy, everybody turns their radio up, and they can't hear our conversations except for the delay. You've got to listen on the phone only, not on the radio, because if you listen on the radio, it throws you off. Okay. So what's up?
Sulu?
Yeah.
I am a regular listener of Dr. Demento, and I like your show.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for calling.
Bye.
Bye-bye now. KMPC, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yes.
This is Lois.
Hi, Lois.
Hi. I'll turn off my radio. Am I on the air?
Yeah, you're on the air, and the radio's on, too.
I'll turn my radio off. I just want to tell you that I think Sulu sounds adorable in this world of strife and all the problems. I think that was just the cutest little song. I love your toes, and I think that other woman was wrong, but I do think that you don't want anybody to turn it off. I'm a regular KM.
Oh, I understand that.
And that's the idea, that you do want them to stay on with your program.
Sure we do.
Well, I just want to mention something about that. When Peter...
She's adorable. I have a daughter, and I just adored her.
When Peter Yarrow introduced me when I won the Song Festival in 1976, I was one of 12 winners.
Mm-hmm.
He said that what was special about the song was that the children could identify with it. And if children can like it, then it's something that we can all identify with. And of course, you know, he writes for a lot of children's programs.
That's right. I'm a school teacher.
Right, and I am too.
You can please children. You've got it. You've got something. They're so smart. They're so much smarter than we adults.
And also, before jumping to a conclusion, I can understand why people might do that, but I've written some songs also for the Jerry Lewis Telethon that I've had on the air, and they're very serious. One was called Giving Child, and it's very serious, but I feel that, you know, it's important also to develop the other side of my personality. I have many sides to me, and when I'm having a great time, I write comedy. And when I just want to have fun, or other times when I'm very serious, I'll write serious-type melodies, and a lot of those have won contests also. But I'm multifaceted. I'm just multifaceted, and I don't feel as if I have to just do one type of music. I felt that I should begin the program with comedy because that's my forte, and that's what kind of makes me unique and unusual. And I didn't begin it with the serious MOR because that makes me like...
That means middle of the road.
Middle of the road. Because I would seem very much like other individuals. And
right.
I could play that, too. Joey has some of that.
Well, continue with your cute little, darling, adorable songs like I Love Your Toes, and then go on to You're So Versatile to...
Do you want to hear Small-Breasted Women?
Okay. Quit talking about me.
All right, thanks a lot for calling. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Boy, I'm in a lot of trouble today. I haven't said anything. The audience is doing it all for a change.
That's right.
Can you play Small-Breasted Women for us? You want us to
I got this idea from a plaque that I saw in the store called Small-Breasted Women Have Big Hearts, Too.
I like that title. I like your style. I like your moves. This is Sulu Lubin, and she's also a school teacher, scandalizing the nation on a Sunday afternoon. It's 1:29. You're listening to Weekend LA at 7:10 rather. KMPC. At 2 o'clock, it'll be Sunny Melendrez. Now Sue's all set, and she's going to sing Small-Breasted Women. It's a small little ditty.
Once there was a big husky cowboy who was walking along the road when he spotted this big busted woman who was carrying a heavy load. So he grabbed that big busted woman and his heart grew to twice its size. Then she stepped upon his toes and she socked him in the nose and she threatened to scratch out both his eyes. Yes, she stepped upon his toes and she socked him in the nose and she threatened to scratch out both his eyes. And that cowboy felt so rejected that his poor heart cracked in despair, and it shrunk to the size of a peanut when he found that that lady didn't care. Then along comes this small busted woman who approaches him with a smile, saying, "It may look to you like I wear a 32, but there's more than meets the eye deep inside, and that's no lie. Yes, you will be quite impressed. Please don't judge me by my chest. I surpass those 44s all by a mile." And that's 'cause small busted women, they have big hearts too. They beat just for you, loud and clear, it's true. It's true that small busted women, they have hearts of gold. Would you like to hold one next to you? I remember that day at the market, 6 p.m. and all was fine, till I noticed the fawns right before me being mobbed in a checkout line by a million big busted women who were all trying hard to score. But little did he know that my heart was beating, so when they threw him to the floor I couldn't see him anymore. So I tore right through the crowd and I screamed at them out loud, and they freed him and I helped him to the door. And that proves small busted women, they have big hearts too. They beat just for you, loud and clear, it's true. It's true that small busted women, they have hearts of gold. Would you like to hold one next to you? gold. Would you like to hold one next to you?
It's one of the few times you get a chance to talk live over the intro and the ending of a record, and it's not a record. It's someone singing live. She's singing right here in our studio, Sue Lubin. It's very nice. This is Uncle Joey's Talent Scouts. You're listening to our Sunday afternoon. It's like when I was a kid, we used to have Talent Scout programs on Sunday morning. And I used to listen every Sunday on radio. We didn't have television. Well, we did later, you know, a little later. And then when television came along, I had Uncle Jerry's Club, and he had all the kids come up and do their little thing, you know. They didn't have songs.
Now they have the Gong Show.
But they weren't really singing about small-breasted women in those days, you know.
No.
It was something we used to keep real quiet, you know. But you do a real nice job. You're very clever, and they're pretty melodies. That's what's nice about all of this. See?
Yeah. They're not real complicated, although I do have some that are, but they're easy to sing along.
How can you get mad at a nice Jewish girl like this from the Valley? 460-5710. That's the number to call in Los Angeles if you have any comments, any questions, anything you want to contribute to our show or take away from.
Yeah.
460-5710. If you live in Orange County, it's 972-0710. In the Valley, 989-0710. That's Sue's territory until she moved to Westwood.
Right.
South Bay's 519-0710. San Gabriel Valley is San Gabriel. I almost said it like Mexican, right? San Gabriel Valley. 281-0710. Well, this is it, folks. Let's do it in Polish now. Can we do a little Polish song?
Oh,
Trade
no,
unions don't want to work on Saturday and Sunday, so we want to do something in Polish.
Yo puedo hacer una canción de español.
Dzień dobry, many państwo. Maybe we can sing Weekends Are Made for Michelob. That's the Polish trade union song.
Yeah, I don't know that.
How about a radio station song? You sang one for ABC, didn't you?
Yeah.
What was that?
Well, it was a song about L.A. It wasn't a radio station. Let's see, KHJ. You said what song was that? We all grew up to be rednecks. We all grew up to, excuse me, Lawrence T.
It's 27 till 2 now.
Time. It's a business person's most valuable asset. So when you fly American...
Can you turn the radio down because you can only hear this on the phone? Ladies and gentlemen who are calling, please turn your radios down and your telephones up. It sounds like a community appeal, doesn't it? Yes, sir. Yeah, Al.
Now, this girl Sulu is original. Her style is original. And I've never seen a girl that sings songs like that with something new and something different.
You like that, huh?
Really, really, truly. She does a marvelous job. Her style is good, and she's original. And that's she's not copying anybody.
Yeah, you're right.
That's terrific, you know.
Thank you very much.
And that woman that called up, I think she had a hangover from the night before.
No, you know, listen, let me come to her defense for a second. She was very nice. Yeah. She said she has kids in the house, and she didn't want them necessarily to hear that.
Perhaps it was the first one. I can understand that.
What, the first child?
No, the first song. I can understand. I'm a teacher myself, and I use discretion in playing various songs, and I never play those, and I never use my real stage name. I only play children's songs, and I feel that there's a time and place for everything, and that's understandable. If I'm a mother, I might be concerned, but I'm sure...
We're going to charge you for this. It's the equal rights.
I'd be more liberal, I guess. But
it's the Equal Rights Bill.
Everybody's entitled to theirs, and...
Joe?
Yes?
I think that the children were outside, and I think she had a hangover, because the children don't stay in on a beautiful day like this, 83.
Yeah, you're right. It is great.
Am I right?
Outside.
And she might have had a hangover from the night before.
I'm going to go home and
so she has to let it out on someone.
Well, thank you for calling, Al.
And this girl did a terrific job of originality. Her styling is very good.
We're going to have another...
I've listened to many, many singers in my time.
Thank you for calling, Al. Okay, bye-bye. It's good to hear from you. If you have any comments you want to make, 460-5710, Orange County 972-0710, in San Fernando Valley 989-0710, South Bay 519-0710, in San Gabriel in the Valley 281-0710. My name is Joey Reynolds. This is Weekend LA. It's about 20 of 2. I give you the time a lot because I know that people are driving places and are listening to us on the freeways. And when you listen to KMPC in the morning, you get all the traffic reports, you know. And we don't have so much of a traffic problem on Saturday and Sunday. I suppose that's why we don't accent it. But you can bet when you're going to work tomorrow morning, if you want to know why you were stalled on the San Fernando freeway, listening to KMPC, you'll know why. It may not help you get out of it, but you'll know why you're there, which helps me mentally, you know, because at least I know why I'm trapped. I feel a lot of times like a gerbil, but this is the way life is.
Well, you're married. What do you expect?
That's not why I feel like a gerbil.
No, why you're trapped.
You wrote a song for a radio station here in town. You wrote a song for the city, for L.A.
Yeah, I did, and it's called L.A. is My Kind of Place.
You don't have to go into that tune if you don't want to.
I like it.
All right, you can play it. This is Sulu, ladies and gentlemen, live on KMPC.
LA is my kind of place where the sun beats down upon my face. On Mulholland Drive where young lovers embrace, like our Dodgers who have always made it past first base.
Angels.
Oh, LA is the place for discos and beer, or tanning on the beach at Santa Monica Pier. If you'd like to keep in shape, there's lots of health clubs near, and you'll never have a problem spending money here. And when you get down to the nitty-gritty, yeah, LA is my kind of place. It's a swell, swift, swinging kind of city. So why not come and join our rat race? There's the Schubert Theater, Music Center, Chinatown. There are malls galore, the Comedy Store, and busy downtown. Also Disneyland and Hollywood, the stars seek in town. It is true you may get lost there, then again, you may be found. Oh, LA is the place for traffic jams, Joey, remember? While you're waiting on the freeways, you can cram for exams. It's the home of the Lakers and the LA Rams. And show business makes lots of bucks for Uncle Sam. Oh, LA is the place that's out of sight. Just take a look at people on the strip at night, parading in their jogging suits and jeans so tight. The LA market is the jean designer's delight. And when you get down to the nitty-gritty, LA is my kind of place. It's a swell, swift, swinging kind of city. So why not come and join our rat race? Oh, wow. Well, LA is the place to be, where I love to watch those Bruins as they play SC at the LA Coliseum in the inner city. I'm so glad to live in LA. Glad to live in LA. So glad I found that LA is the best place to be.
And the Three Bears. It's really nice having you today. It's a very fresh Sunday. I don't feel intimidated. I don't feel like I have any pressures on me.
No.
I feel like I lost my job, but it's all right. You know.
Didn't.
Who's that girl that was singing the dirty songs on your show that you're not doing anymore? We take some more calls here. KMPC, you're on the air.
Hi. I don't want to be put on the air, but and that's Sulu's record. You want to know a post office box? I can give it to you. You can give it to Joey.
You are on the air.
Oh.
You're already on the air. Give me the post office box number. You can give it. That's all right.
Okay, it's Sue. All right, Sue DeLu Records.
Yeah.
P.O. Box 1305.
Yeah.
Woodland Hills, California.
All right.
91364.
Okay, thanks for calling.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye. That's the head of the record company.
Oh, yeah.
KMPC.
Yeah, may I talk to Jerry?
On the air.
Oh, I'm talking right to you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, all these calls that I'm taking are right out of the box.
Straight through one, huh?
Yep.
Well, Jerry, let me talk to Sue. Now, I want to ask you something. You say this is Sue, the nice Jewish woman. Well, this is Grace, the nice Christian woman. And let me talk to Sue.
All right. You're on the air with her. It's okay. You can talk anytime you like.
Yes, I'm here.
Sue, I want to discuss with you, if you don't like it, turn it off business.
Sue never said that.
I never said that.
Let me tell you something, Sue.
Ma'am, wait, whoa, let's call time for a minute.
You just don't turn around and say, if you don't like it, turn it off.
Are you listening to me? She didn't say that.
Hello?
She never said that, ma'am. Listen, don't talk. She never said that.
You or her, one or the other.
You're listening to me.
The woman that called in is right. Your songs, my dear, are absolutely ridiculous. Why should you discuss the woman's anatomy, the breasts, the toes? What are you getting to next? We don't need that kind of thing. And I don't think you're talented. What I think you're doing is just kind of shock or something like that. You don't have talent, darling. This is for the birds, this kind of business. And we don't need it. And that was a nice woman. And as far as making a remark that the woman had a hangover, how you allowed that man to say that, Joey, I don't know.
The same way I'm allowing you to say what you're saying.
We like KMPC. We have a right to say what we want to say. And we are not drunk or this or that or the other thing. And we do not turn it off. We turn in and give our opinions so we can have good programs.
And this turn it off business is for the birds. And this is from a nice Christian woman, Sue. Goodbye.
Thank you, ma'am. What got her going? Prune juice. It's 1:45 now. This is Weekend LA. And she's right, though. Everybody is entitled to their opinion, and the air is free, and it's very clear out there. Good air quality in the basin today. The weather is going to be... Where's that weather forecast? Quick, kill time. No, it's sunny and warm today, as you know. What can I say about the weather, except it's good air quality in the basin? That's the best thing I could say. And we're going to have overnight lows in the 60s. And Sulu is our guest, and she's been kind enough to come here and sing her songs. I've heard her on a lot of stations. You know, KMPC just used to play that thing you just sang now.
L.A. They played it
Right.
About a week ago.
That was their big theme song for the city of L.A. last week.
One of them.
Yeah, and you've written songs for a lot of people. A lot of things
Yeah.
for the Jerry Lewis telethons.
Right.
And these songs they're parodies. They're takeoffs, a lot of them. The one for the Jerry Lewis telethon is a very serious song, which you may do for us this afternoon.
Okay.
Anybody who has an opinion, you call us at 460-5710. That's the LA number for KMPC. We'll take another call on the air now. Hello.
Hello.
You're on the air.
Okay.
Goodbye. Okay. KMPC, you're on the air.
This is Patricia. You remember I phoned you from Palos Verdes when the yoga teacher was there?
Yes.
And I forgot to tell him that was the largest shopping mall in the world is being built in this area. That might be of value to him in the future. But I'm coming back to those delightful songs that she sang. I have heard these women. I'm a businesswoman. I very seldom, call anything of this nature.
Uh-huh.
But I am Christian also, and I see nothing wrong with her songs. They're light, they're airy, they are done discreetly, and I think they're perfectly charming. And I didn't realize that this was your first day, Joe, and you're doing a good job. And I think everyone is to be commended there. And I think people who have thoughts of this nature are of course, they can come on and they can say what they feel, because this is a free United States of America. And I'm an American, but I want to say that I think her little ditties were in good taste, and I think you're both doing a good job.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye. We weren't concerned about it being my first day. We're talking about it being my last. That's what we're speaking of. The songs that Sulu sings on her album are different than the ones you're hearing on the radio now, because she has not done any of those yet so far. The Jerusalem songs are of a serious spiritual nature.
And also, I might want to say that one of those songs and another one currently has been recorded by the International Singers, who are a Christian group.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with
who tour, and they're using one of them, so they're Christian. I just
nothing
might
to do with
throw that.
religion. I don't know how we got off on that. But I guess I made a comment.
But I've had some songs used by Christians.
I said you're a very nice little Jewish girl from the Valley. I think that's what started it off. Oh, no, maybe we said because they're songs of Jerusalem, and they assumed they were on this album.
I think they got the person who called up confused with me in terms of who said something.
Nonetheless, pick something from Renta Yenta there. What do you like? Have you picked out anything yet?
Oh, it all looks terrific.
Oh, pick out something, because I'm going to read it on the air and tell people what you're going to get here.
But
pick out something real good now.
For two, right?
Yeah, for two.
Okay. Boy.
Both of us are going, you and me.
Oh, come on.
About 10 minutes we're going to leave.
Music.
Sunny weekend dress will be here.
This is really
You
difficult.
picking out something?
Oh, there's so many things.
All right, read that while I take another call. KMPC, you're on the air.
Hello. I'd like to speak to Joey, please.
Yes, you're on the air, ma'am.
Oh, I am. I'm sorry. Can I turn the radio off?
Sure.
I realize it.
I usually turn mine off. I kiss it. We'll turn anything off in my house. Just joking, folks. Boy, we're taking things seriously on such a beautiful day today.
Hello, Joey.
Yeah, you're on the air now.
Hello?
Yes.
I know that this is your first day on the radio, I mean, I've heard it. When I first heard what was going on, I was sort of offended by it when I heard the songs, because I, like that lady, also have younger kids in the house who love to listen to the radio. And then the more that I heard the people calling in and everything, I began to sort of analyze what I was thinking. And I have to really give her credit, because she really understands the other side of the thing, too, as to how the other people feel. But if this is your first day on the radio, can I tell you, when the second lady called in and who was so irate, and you said she was full of prunes, that's sort of, or, prune juice, that was sort of not being too nice to that lady either.
I think we're taking all of our comments very seriously
Yeah.
today,
Well,
and
you
some
know-
of them are meant to be in humor, and this is the way, as I mentioned earlier, Johnny Carson does his monologues this way. What if he took phone calls?
Well, dear, you don't have the background yet as Johnny Carson, and you can maybe get away with some of the things Johnny does, but Johnny gets away with these things at 11 o'clock at night, you know.
Oh, it's different at 11 at night than it is at 2 in the afternoon then.
Right.
I see. What's the difference? You mean all of a sudden we turn into some sort of a different human being in the evening?
No, you don't, but you're more relaxed, and I think that when there aren't kids around that you're sort of thinking in a different line, too, you know, than you are then.
Then I am to assume that kids don't watch The Tonight Show.
My kid doesn't watch The Tonight Show.
Okay.
You know, some kids do. I guess they do. Mine happens to be 13 years old, and he doesn't watch The Tonight Show because I don't feel that's a show for him. He listens to the radio a lot, and he's just into different things.
Okay.
But he's not into Johnny Carson.
Oh, I just mentioned that. It's just an example I gave.
Okay.
Probably a bad analogy. Thank you.
But I am really listening to the songs that she has and everything, and I thought that they were very good. She has a lot of talent. It's just that maybe some of it would be better used at a different time than rather on a Sunday afternoon. You know, that may be something that people are offended by, too.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye now. It's KMPC, 710 on the dial, AM. You're on the air.
Yes, I'm on the air. Joey?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Zoltan.
Hi.
I want to say, I want to agree with the lady and the other guys that I like her little music.
Good.
And you're doing a good job. And I have to tell you something. You came up with a new freeway I have never heard of in Los Angeles. The San Fernando Freeway, you said. When you get stuck on the San Fernando Freeway.
Oh, I meant to say freeways in San Fernando, which is the culmination of all three, the San Diego Freeway, the Pasadena, and the Ventura.
You know why I say that? I was here before the freeways were here.
Uh-huh.
And I figured you're trying to fool somebody from Los Angeles.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir.
You bet.
Okay, bye-bye now. All right, in just 7 minutes, you'll have relief at last. How do you spell relief? M-E-L-E-N, Melendrez. Sonny. He'll be here at 2 o'clock. Sonny is a kid's name, you know, and he grew up to be well, his father named him Sonny because he was the sunshine of his life. And also he had the same first name. We don't know what that first name is. He never shares that with us, but he'll be on it too. Why don't you ask him that then?
Just say hello to a brand new world. It's just outside your door. Say hello to a brand new dream, much closer than before.
Pan Am makes it very easy to fly to the Orient and the South Pacific. We've got all kinds of flights to Tokyo and Hong Kong, to Singapore, Australia, and New Zealand. We fly 747s and 747 SPs exclusively, with stretch-out sleeperette seats in first class and a special Clipper class for business travelers. For the best of the Pacific, say hello to Pan Am.
Say hello to a brand new world. Say
I'm trying to say hi to Pan Am. I gotta find where they are for a minute here. Let's see. I know where they go because they go to all the places I want to be at, like Hong Kong, Tokyo, Singapore, Shanghai, Peking, all places where they have food that you had to eat with 2 sticks. Call your travel agent. Got a fork? Corporate Travel Department or Pan Am for details. 747 nonstop service from Los Angeles. Pan Am every day. Now, we told you, Sulu, that for doing such a nice job today, which we didn't know was going to be controversial, that we would give you something really nice. Are you waiting for your surprise?
Yes.
Well, you picked it out already, so you know what it is, don't you? It's a sensuous dinner party for 10, prepared and delivered with love. All dinners include a single rose and a bud vase. Merci beaucoup dinner for 10. And on the menu is Pepper's New Orleans, a choice of crepes, seafood Diablo, chicken a la Reine, beef Giuseppe, French green beans Amandine, baby Belgian carrots and champagne, and double whipped cheesecake. The meal totals $80 at $8 for each additional person. And it's from Renta Yenta.
Yenta.
Hi.
Hi.
This is Renta Yenta, right?
Yes.
What's a Yenta?
A Yenta is kind of a busybody, but she does nice things for people.
A Yenta's a busybody.
Are you familiar with Fiddler on the Roof?
Yes, I fiddled on a few roofs myself.
All right. You know Yenta, the matchmaker?
Yeah, but I thought a Yenta was a woman.
Well, Yenta is a woman. I'm a woman.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily have to be a woman.
Well, you rent someone to fix you up with someone else.
Well, originally that's what it was, but we don't do that.
No, because the neighborhood I grew up in, they didn't call them yentas.
I know. They don't call it in my neighborhood either.
What do you have that's really unusual?
About a year ago, a local radio station called and asked if we would throw a pie in the face to one of the newscasters on the air.
They've been throwing it in our face for years.
Yeah, you've been doing it, huh? No, we do parties. We do strange sort of things, hot air balloon parties. We've done dinners in a dump truck.
Wait a minute. Dinner in a dump truck?
Dump truck.
What did you serve?
Oh, it was elegant. We served a beautiful, elegant dinner with crystal and china and the whole thing. But the whole thing was done in a dump truck. This is what these people wanted.
Why?
Well, the man was involved in the trucking business, and I guess they had a soft spot in their heart for dump trucks. I don't know. I mean, we do it.
Was there anybody with concrete on their legs?
Yeah, right.
Well, I'll tell you what I really need. I have a cold coming on. Can you bring me some chicken soup?
Want some chicken soup, poor baby.
2 matzo balls.
Yeah, with a couple matzo balls, yeah. Sure.
Well, what are the most unusual things you've done?
Mother's Day a couple years ago, this gentleman wanted something wonderful for his mother. So he took her to lunch at the country club. While she was having lunch, we had this marching band, come up to her, and they were playing Rocky, the theme from Rocky. And when they got to where this lady was, and the cheerleaders did a cheer, then we had this huge pop-up cake. And when the cheerleaders were finished, her grandson popped out of the cake and presented her with flowers.
We're that affluent. We have money to do these bizarre things.
Oh, sure.
Your business is primarily in Las Vegas, right?
Yes.
Do you get any requests from stars in Vegas?
Oh, yeah, we've done things for Wayne Newton.
What could you possibly do for Wayne Newton?
We did a birthday party for his little girl.
What did you bring her, Big Mac? Last year, somebody brought Wayne Newton a teepee cake.
A teepee cake?
Yeah, a cake shaped like a teepee.
Like a teepee.
Yeah.
For the Indian, yeah.
Yeah. My wife likes to nag me, and every night when I get home.
She does?
Yeah, can you get me a stand-in?
Well, I think it's sort of nice if you walked in and there was applause.
I better get that every morning, or I haven't had a good night.
I think that would be wonderful.
This is KMPC, Los Angeles. People touching people.
KMPC. Before we wrap it up, Sue's going to do a serious song for us. Sue?
Okay.
You can get up to your bandstand. We have a caller. Hi.
Hi.
You're on the air, KMPC.
Well, I'm a so-called younger kid, and I'd rather hear Sue's little ditties than to be hearing about sex, drugs, and a bunch of other stuff that you can hear at 5 o'clock news.
Okay, thank you.
And I love her. She's great.
Thank you for your opinion.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. I got to tell everybody about something. That's why I hustled that phone call off, because I don't want to be behind a commercial here. Centrum is the new high-potency vitamin mineral supplement from Literal Laboratories. It contains every essential vitamin and mineral for which a U.S. recommended daily allowance has been established, and more. A total of 21 essential vitamins and minerals. That's more than any leading brand. You can get Centrum now at your local pharmacy on a special introductory offer of 30 tablets free with every bottle of 100 you buy for, rather. Ask for Centrum, the vitamin mineral formula that's complete from A to zinc. So what is that? Go over that again. You can get Centrum now at your local pharmacy on a special introductory offer of 30 tablets free with every bottle of 100 you buy. That's it. Now I got it right. I'll keep doing it over and over again. Hi, Sonny. Did you have a nice vacation?
I had a great vacation.
Why do they call you Sonny?
What?
What's your real name?
All right, in 10 seconds or less. My real name is Joseph, but my father's name is also Joseph.
Yeah, that's why they call you Sonny, because you're his son.
Right, whenever you're a junior, they usually call you
We
Sonny.
didn't know your real name. That's why I did that.
Well, now you know. You're also Joseph.
Yeah. But my father wouldn't dare call me Sonny. He calls me Cloudy or Overcast, especially in my house. Bad joke, but good show, Sonny. Have a good one today.
Thank you. You too.
All right, Sulu, can we give a little parting shot here?
Sure can. This song was written a few years ago for the Jerry Lewis Telethon, and we decided when I led a certain group at a Jewish community center that we were going to write a song for Jerry Lewis, and we were going to try and get it on the TV show. And subsequently, after many trips down to the Jerry Lewis...
I think we're going to have to cancel it because we got the news coming up.
She can do real
Okay,
fast.
I'll do it. This is called Giving Child. We're the children of tomorrow, with our footprints in the sand, sharing secrets, love, and feelings, reaching out to
the people crying tears of woe who must be reconciled. Ain't it good to be a giving child?
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next week. Let a smile be your umbrella. Don't get a mouthful of rain. We'll also see you again at 2 o'clock in the morning. Tomorrow.
This is KMPC, Los Angeles.
80 degrees now at 2 o'clock. Mike Rollins, KMPC News.